issues. Welcome to our third hour showcase presentations. This week, we will be showcasing our 4-week independent projects. And we're going to begin right now with Chris. Yes.
All right, so my 4-week project was based on a basic understanding of the Adobe Illustrator application. My first week was spent just learning the program and making sure that I knew everything. So just a quick rundown of some of these tools that are used to draw on the artboard here. This is the pen tool, and you can use it to make lines, and then these lines have stroke, and then you can use it in a variety of ways. You can trace an image that you download from the internet like that, or you can make your own if you have an idea. Then you've got the text tool. It's pretty straightforward. A line tool does the same thing as the pen tool, just straight lines. So if you want to actually make a box, you can make a box with individual paths. Then there's this new tool called the shaper tool, and you can draw, and it will make an actual shape out of a monstrosity like this rectangle. And it didn't even do that. So there we go. There we go. Okay. So that's what I did for week 1, and then I used that to go ahead and create this. And I used, I used a tutorial from, I used a mix of tutorials from just the basic training that I got from lynda.com, and I really like these tutorials. They were great. They really simplified things and made it easy to learn. And I used those along with a few tutorials from Spoon Graphics, which I don't think I have them on here. No, but I used that to make these planets in the background. And what you would do is you would draw a bunch of rectangles like that. Then you would, then you would just copy and paste them pretty much. And then you would keep doing this all the way down. And then you would select them all, and you would use the direct selection tool to, you'd select one, press Alt, and you use the direct selection tool to bring it in, and then out, in, and then you just go all the way down and make a pattern, and then you unite them using this, unite, direct selection tool, drag. Oops. It's not how it's supposed to be. All right, it's supposed to make them rounded, but it's just, since it's going so fast, it's not really how I want it. But I use that to make those planets, and then I added an outer glow on this, and this is all just week 1 or week 2 now that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I added an outer glow to those on all sides so that it would actually look like there's some depth behind it. And then I made these stars, and this is pretty cool. To make a star, what you do is you draw a random shape. So I'll just go ahead and do a circle. Then you go to Effects, Stylize, or wait, no, it would be War. Distort and transform, there we go, pucker and blow. And then you add a negative value like 80, 85, preview, and now we get a star. And then you can add an outer glow to that star. There we go. And this is how you do that. Your outer glow, make it, well, just so you can see it, we'll make it black. There. And then you think that, you do the copy and paste thing, but actually what you do is you drag it into the symbol creator or symbol thing, and I
Symbol thing. It's your
I don't know
symbol,
what to call
it's
it.
your symbol library.
Symbol library. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, oh, not the right one. Symbols. There we go. Symbols, and then you click new symbol. There you go. If you've got a new symbol, you can actually delete that. Then go to the symbol tool over here. Handy dandy how they made that. If I can find it. Well, there we go. Symbol sprayer, and now I've got a bunch of stars, and you can use the Alt key to make it smaller and stuff like that. Or well, or get rid of them apparently.
Yep.
There you go. Symbol sizer. You can make it bigger and you can make it smaller. There you go. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, so that was week one. I used all of those techniques to create something like this, and I used the pen tool to trace a image from the internet. It's like a halo helmet or whatever. I used that, and I added gradients to it to make it look 3D. So there's light sources from over here. Add that, and it makes it look like there's some shadow. And I actually made this. Well, this is just a PNG, but on the actual file, it's poster board size. So it's 18 by 24. So I can send it to a print shop and actually print it. So that's what I was planning on doing there. Now, I moved on to week 3. And for this, I use this tutorial right here, the WPAP style of drawing. And this is a picture, or this tutorial, excuse me, really helped a lot because with what I wanted to do with the Eric Hosmer, it was kind of at a weird angle, so I tried to find a tutorial that added kind of the same angle to it. There was a lot of dead space right here where under his chin and stuff, under his beard. And so it made it easier to actually draw out the shapes that I needed to complete it. And the tutorial, if it were a star system, I give it like 5 stars out of 5 stars. So that's good. So onto my actual PowerPoint. Well, I kind of already gotten through this first one, so we'll go ahead and use it for this one. I used every single skill that I used on the last one, except maybe the drag selection tools and stuff. But for this one, it was really difficult because, let me actually open the file.
You can see the layers that way.
It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, sweet. But anyways, sorry. This isn't actually how I wanted. I didn't export this right, and so all these colors are kind of messed up because there's a difference in colors in Illustrator. There's CMYK and there's RGB. These were originally supposed to be CMYK colors, and whenever I exported it, it got switched into RGB colors, and so now everything's a little bit more dull than what I had planned on it looking, but it still looks pretty good. And as you can see here, there's these paths, and I would, excuse me, I would actually look at the layer behind it, like my drawing that I drew behind it, and I would trace that. And whenever I would get done tracing, I would have a lot of leftover space, and so I'd have to use this direct selection tool here to draw it, and then I can drag, and it allows you to edit shapes in different ways. So I could draw like a rectangle just anywhere on the shape or on the board. And then I would be able to trace this and drag it and make it so that it fits to somewhere, like right here. And then same thing over here, drag it, and now I can change the color of that. So that's how I made this. And then I can select one eyedropper tool with eye and change the color of that. So that's essentially all that I did on this, and then I added a little cool thing and actually wrote his name in his cheek. But other than that, that's all this week 3 was. And then for week 4, I kind of got a little lackadaisical. But I still made this. So I grabbed a picture from the internet like this one. I put this into Illustrator. I forgot to download it beforehand, but I've been playing a game and I just really liked this character, so I decided I'd make a kind of logo for him. So I dragged it into Illustrator, like literally. Oh, that's not the right one. Anyways, I dragged this picture into Illustrator, and then I used the image trace tools to create editable paths really simply, so I didn't have to draw it, because this would take forever to draw and I didn't really have a lot of time. So I kind of have to show that. No, this is great. This is just, okay. There we go.
This is great. Just great.
I must have.
I was gonna say, I don't see the file. There, wait.
No, it's not the right one.
No.
I don't have it in here.
It's all right. Just talk to us about it, because I.
Okay. Well, I can, here, hold on. I can make it really quick. Image. Sorry, this is taking a really long time. Okay. Image trace. And it's just, whenever you put an image into Illustrator, it will automatically recognize as a JPEG. It will put up.
So what's it doing if it's changing it from a JPEG into a what?
Well,
It's creating what?
It's creating vectored images, but I don't have that yet.
Right, it's not there yet, but it's creating a pathway.
Right.
You see how it starts to define mathematically your image? That's what it's trying to do.
Right, so I've got, right now it's in black and white. I'm gonna change this color, and I forgot to turn off preview, so this is gonna figure a little time. But what I did was I took this whole entire picture, image traced it, put color on it, and made it show that the color was how I wanted it to be. And then I took the picture of the actual character, selected everything around it and deleted it, and made sure that it was all kind of synced up and nothing was weird, because sometimes you'd have colors that matched in with the background and you'd have to change the thing and it'd be good. So I got it here, and then to actually make it vectorized, you click expand, and now you've got it right here, and it's really sweet, and you can just delete it. So I did this with everything in the background, and that's how I made this, and then I just added an extra background the whole entire length of the page, and that's how I made this picture. There we go. That's how I made this, and it took 5 minutes-ish. So, yeah. And that's my understanding of Adobe Illustrator.
Okay. Thank you very much. You guys got any questions? Okay, so logically, guys, think about it. You got questions? Okay.
Which one was your favorite one to do?
The Hosmer one.
Yeah. Now, logically, the reason you can't copy and paste in Illustrator is because each thing you create is like its own individual file. It has to have its own definition so that it can be vectored. It's got its own little formula. So once you save it in your library, that formula stays, and that's why you can copy it. Make sense? Okay, Carson, go better. Yeah, it's the Carson.
I was just all over the place that whole time.
You're fine. It's just you are You are the definition of ADHD, buddy.
I can have sound.
Yeah,
'Cause I kinda
yeah. Just test it out. It's got this, the speaker there. You plug it in. Should be turned on and make sure there's a remote there. He was cracking me up because you're letting us finish. Oh, red hot chili peppers. This is so you.
I don't even know if I have it.
It's not just giving me a hard time. It's just the way your brain works. I can just see it. It's like I can tell when you're going to get distracted. It's like, oh, there it comes. Nothing wrong with it. Someday you're going to channel that.
One day, hopefully.
You will, without a doubt, Chris. It's what helps people be creative. Yeah, it's on. Hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, my Carson.
Sorry, Carson's just gonna read us 2 pages.
No. Okay.
See, I like it whenever you guys like put this up and you actually spell it right. It gives me hope. That is the new hope.
Sweet.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so my project, I created a lightsaber duel. It's pretty awesome. I filmed it on a camcorder. I learned about like shots and angles, but I wish I would have done more of that. And then I edited in Final Cut, so I learned more about Final Cut, and I added sound effects and music. And then I created my lightsabers in After Effects, which took a while. So I started learning. So I learned how to make my lightsabers. I used feathering and color correction to make a lightsaber. I went frame by frame. So I made a screen capture showing how I actually did that.
So he's in After Effects right now.
To create white rectangles that will represent my lightsaber. I used the mask path tool so I would be able to edit the rectangle each frame. So I went frame by frame, resizing the rectangle to match the size of the lightsabers. Okay, why is that there? Okay, so here's how I masked path tool so I would be able to edit the rectangle each frame. So I went frame by frame, resizing the rectangle to match the size of the lightsabers. I also needed to take motion blur into account. This is the final shot for my project that I am working on. It was very tedious and monotonous work. So yeah.
Yep. You to think about people in film who are we're now shooting at 36 to 40 frames per
Right
second.
now, they look nothing like lightsabers. So I'm going to have to feather it to give it the glow effect. So I go through and I have to like duplicate it to have like layers to it to make it glow more. So I had to do that with both lightsabers. So I finished feathering one of the lightsabers, and as you can see, it now has the glow to it. I'm going to do the same to the other lightsaber. Now I've feathered both lightsabers. And so now I'm going to add both lightsabers to my movie file. And I'm going to go mode and screen to make them pop up on screen. And so now I have my two feathered rectangles onto my movie file. But now we want to color the lightsabers. So we're going to go to Effects, Color Correction, Color Balance, and we're going to turn off the highlight on the green, and we're going to turn off the mid. So that'll turn my white feathered rectangle green.
She's taking care of
And you do the same with the other lightsaber, which will be red. Now I have both of the lightsabers colored. The final step I'm going to do is add the clash effect. When I go find which frames have a clash, add it to that frame. Resize the set up on it. To have clash I see. So I've keyed in my lightsabers, feathered them, colored them, and added the clash effect. So here's what the 4 seconds of footage that I was working on looks like, completely finished. So yeah, that was like 40 minutes of work for like
Right.
like 3 or 4 seconds. So
Seriously.
it's pretty crazy.
I know.
But we got it done. So,
It's huge.
okay. I planned in the first, actually, I filmed before the first week, just so I made sure I had that, and then I kind of messed around with Final Cut and got stuff in there, got it edited, see which footage I wanted to use, and then I started learning After Effects that first week, watching tutorials, just getting everything ready, and then, so by week 2, I was doing the effects, which took me full 2-3 weeks left. And then in about a day, I added sound effects and music and finished editing. I wish I would have took more time to work on shots and angles. I don't know, that would have just made it overall better. But I wanted to get seat time for effects, so it is what it is. So here is the actual.
No, my ship's crashed.
Oh no.
No, my ship's crashed.
Why it's not feeding?
Ladies and gentlemen, my ship's crashed. Do you hear me? My ship is crashed. Anyone hear me? My ship is crashed.
You know why?
Why?
Because you don't have enough processor. Shut off your Keynote and start it over again.
Okay, so you just want me to do it on my desktop?
Yeah. Turn off Keynote. Just shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Because what's happening is that film is large and it's trying to run and you're running Keynote and you don't have enough processor.
Well, let's just go through again.
That should work.
No, my ship's crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, my ship's crashed. Do you hear me? My ship is crashed. Anyone hear me? My ship is
So do you want me to go back to my Keynote?
No, you don't have to. Just
I don't really need to. Okay,
It's
so, yeah, I didn't account for motion blur for the first 15 seconds of that. Because there's about 20 seconds of lightsaber footage. And I should have done that. So when there's lots of movement, it really shows. But it looks okay, I guess.
it's good.
So, yeah.
Any other things you learned?
Well, I learned how to do all of the After Effects program in Final Cut, which I hadn't used before.
What did you learn about time?
I learned that After Effects takes a while.
It does take a while.
I need a lot because frame by frame is like 32 frames per second.
Exactly.
So
right now, when we're shooting in 4K, just think about how many editing skill set. So for you guys, just so you'll understand, he created film, edited film, pulled clips out, imported them into Adobe After Effects, created the effect, exported it out of there, rendered it out of there, put it back in the movie, right? So you're seeing that flow every time you saw a lightsaber, that clip was out, edited, reinserted, right? Now there are products that will let you do that within the film. It's just that Adobe does not talk to Final Cut. Now it does talk to Adobe Premiere. right? So if we were running Adobe Premiere, there would be the sync, but we also get sync from other things that we use that we don't get, right? So two different tools. Okay, very nice. Nice round of applause, please. Okay. Tristan.
Hey. He will.
I like when you have him turn, your nice look up at his face when you turn and then you do a pan straight up. That's nice. Nice use of film tool. Yes? Okay, Tristan, you ready, sir?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, talk to us.
So I did Adobe Flash. My original goal with this was to kind of learn the program and just be able to know different things and what I could use this for in other projects that could come up in the future years. I originally, my first week was just kind of watching tutorials and taking bits and pieces of different things and putting them together. I found a person on YouTube that I really liked the videos. They did a good job of explaining everything and kind of went step by step, didn't assume you knew anything. And so I watched those, and within my first week, I kind of just made this. Don't really know what else to call it other than this. So yeah, this is the next thing. All right, so this is gonna be messed up. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so yeah, I did this. Yeah, just woo. Just messing around, kind of trying to see how everything goes and trying out different stuff. I found out that the bone tool is kind of confusing, and which is, if and I don't have anything. Hold down.
Just hit the space bar, you're going to get us back. There you go.
It's really messed up. So. All right, that's better. Okay, so like the bone tool, which is this one, is really messed up. It's not messed up, but it's just weird to use. I kind of liked going frame by frame and doing different things, which is in the end result kind of really time consuming and tedious. And so that was basically my first week. And my second week was just messing around, kind of getting an idea of what I was going to do, coming up with like a plot and everything. And during that week, I found out about a bunch of hotkeys that really kind of sped up everything. So it's all kind of really easy. Like I is for eyedropper, B is for brush, P is for pen or pencil. No, it's pen. It's pen. K is for fill bucket. Q is to like reshape what you like drawn. So I can, and then just go back and hit V, and now I can just do that. I also learned that if you don't have anything selected, you can change the stage, which is what this little white square rectangle is. You can change the stage color, which was recommended because if you have something like, if you're drawing something and you want to fill it in, but it's just, see, if you left the stage white, you would never and know it was filled in. So that adds to things. So I guess that was kind of my second week, just kind of messing around with stuff, trying to get a feel for everything, messing with Flash, learning all the different places, like this is the timeline for animation. And I was told to kind of put it in small screen out of all these because it's the most simple and easiest to understand. So I went with that because I was just starting. So third week, I was kind of going and was kind of behind. Not gonna lie, I was kind of behind. I didn't get a lot accomplished my third week, and I guess that proved difficult for the fourth week. So as I was building everything, some problems did arise. Some things didn't work how I imagined them working. And so like I learned like the different symbols. You can make symbols and stuff and store them in your library, which nothing's in there because this is a new project. But I figured out you can change things on the symbols, and if you change things on one symbol, it changes them for that symbol in every other frame. So you can't really, it's weird. So I learned all that. Fourth week, really like kind of panicked. Was working on it constantly whenever I had the chance, and probably spent 13 hours in 4 days working on it in the last week. And so I kind of came up with this, and my mom told me I should just add the sounds that I was making when I showed her what it was. So she thought it was funny. So I guess this is it. So, and don't judge my art skills, they're not the best. Oh, another thing before it shows. I learned that I didn't realize till I was already halfway through, but you have to kind of do, if you're going frame by frame, you have to make the same frame a couple times, because if not, it just goes super fast and you can't tell what's going on. And so that's part of the problem I had with like this first half, but it all came out all right. Yeah. So that was that. I had a lot of fun doing the project, and I learned a lot. I need to learn to budget my time more wisely, because that kind of rushed things. But overall, I enjoyed the project, and I think I learned a lot, and hopefully that'll help me with future projects.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir. Nice round of applause, please. Nothing like a little blood and gore. Okay, so Conrad, you ready, buddy?
Yeah. You need to slow it
Conrad's
down.
going to be our last one today, not last but not least.
The only part I got was
You'll be first tomorrow. Okay.
what's that?
And tomorrow we'll start with Lexi, and then we go from Lexi, Jeff, Mona, Blick.
And then
No, we're not leaving you out. No, you're next. You're
you're
denied.
last.
I'm not sure if we'll get you. We'll kind of see. You might be. You could be on block day. possibly.
Lane is fine with all of this.
Alright.
Did you do Flash?
No, I did. He did Photoshop.
He did Photoshop.
Was that the only one that did Illustrator?
No, I have somebody in another class who did Illustrator. But you'd done Photoshop, so you were picking something new, which was good.
Yeah. If I did Photoshop, I would have just destroyed it in the first like week. And then out of something to do.
It's so weird because like now, whenever I'm on like Instagram and I like see those, I'm like trying to figure out how they did it.
I know, but then see, that's the good thing. Is that now when you see stuff, you think, oh, well, I could do that. I wonder how they did that.
I wonder how much they're getting paid for that.
Well, that's how, there's money in it. Okay, Conrad, bring it.
Okay. I did a Flash animation mixed with iMovie to make the sounds and sort of edit some of the scenes and stuff. So I haven't ever really done that much drawing. I haven't never really been good. So I decided to challenge myself and try this. And I found that some of the drawing does take some time because it doesn't always fill the way you want it to. Like if it's too big or it's not shut all the way. So that was kind of a bummer. And yeah, I had to understand a lot of the timeline stuff, which I'll show the timeline. It did take a little to understand all the terminology and the tutorials and such. But I used quite a few tutorials. I found out that the 17-minute one, which was the longest one, was probably the best one to use because it went in the most detail, and it was that one. And so yeah, I used that to help him because walking was probably the hardest thing to do, I felt. And then I used the bone tool animations to kind of figure out all the joints and stuff, which is kind of how it works. And I did use quite a few motion tweens to make this work. Okay, I'll show the timeline now. Okay, so the timeline is pretty much where all the magic happens.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we can make like I'll make a circle. Okay, so when you insert a frame, it'll be this constant frame for however long you made it. Like it'll just sit there. But then you can insert a blank or insert a keyframe really. So then you can edit whatever you did, like at this point. So let me cut this. And then you can just do whatever you want. So then if you were to like want to go frame by frame, you could make it move with the onion root thing, this deal, the onion skin, and then you can edit, like move it slightly, however you want at that point. So it'll just move here and do that. And then, oh, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what you want. And then you can cut it like right here if you don't want it to show up till a certain point. So it'll just show, it'll be blank and it'll show and switch. There. So yeah, it took a little to figure out all this stuff, but it worked out.
Hang on, you're fine. Just keep going.
Okay.
'Cause it's early.
The bone tools, what I use probably is a majority of what I use to make the characters move. It really, I had to layer most of the arm. I had to layer the limbs so I could insert the bone or the joints, well, the bones kind of where you want it to go. So like right there, I'm putting in part of where, like, so in the middle where they connect, that's where we've been. So then you can just twist it around however you want, really. So then in the end, you can make them move however you desire.
Yes. Walking is tough, though. Very
And then,
good.
okay, so with the walk, that was just the arms, just so you know. Okay, so you can insert poses for whichever frame, like right there, like that is a pose. And you insert the pose, like, so it'll move to whichever point you want. So like right there, it's like the arms that are walking, but that's kind of a messed up one. And then towards the end, once you insert enough poses, it'll kind of move. Like that. Yeah, right there is probably the best part of that. So that was just kind of the bone tool movement. And then The art part, okay, so we'll just use this again. So you can use the brushes. The brushes are the most flexible. Probably you can just draw whatever you want, and it'll make it a little neater, a little more sleek. And with the pencils, it'll just make it really straight, like if you just kind of, well, kind of. The lines are the straightest thing here. It'll just make it just go like that. And then you can decide if you want to fill it a different color. You just go to the color palette and use the bucket and fill different things together. And that's pretty much all I used for that. I did use some like shapes like that, and it has the outer line and has the fill on the inside. So then you could change the inside by doing that with the color palette. Okay, and then the motion tweens. It's pretty much just you have to convert it to a symbol, which a symbol is just, it won't change. It'll just stay as that image. And then you can just drag it wherever you want. Like you click with the regular motion tween, you can click the certain frame you want it to move at a certain point. So like up there, I choose all the frames and how far I want it to move. So then at the end, it will move a little crazy. But like it would follow, you can kind of see the line.
Follow the path.
Yeah, it would follow the path of what it wants. I have it at the end, I'm pretty sure. But like, see that would just move to the straight line at whatever frame I wanted it to move. So then it just moves kind of. So yeah, that was the motion tween part. And then my planning of a big project, you have to follow the tutorials and you have to practice a lot because it's kind of hard to do from the beginning. I just spent the whole first week just practicing everything and just doing little motion tweens and little bone fold things. And I did follow my plan for the most part. I didn't really have to adjust it that much because I had a good pace for it, and yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good idea. It does take a while. Like in the beginning, I was like, I would make something, I was like, wow, it's only 4 seconds, and it would be kind of annoying. So it did. I just kind of grinded a few nights to do some of it. So you have to know everything that people are talking about. You have to learn all the terminology. If you don't save, it will crash. I had to redo a few things because it'll just blow up. So
Yep, it will.
And then when I got it to walk, it took quite a few times to figure out how to make them walk nice. But I did get it, and that was probably the best part. And if I could redo something, I would choose the sounds before, because in the end, you're going to have to let the cartoon tell you what sounds you can use and what you can't, because then you can model it to the sound if you choose before. So that's what I learned, and we will go to the project.
Let's watch. The quest for Kitty.
Yeah.
Nice spelling. I like it. Cats.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Smell like my. Oh, no! Oh, so wrong, Conrad. Oh my goodness.